Hey y'all, welcome back to Hopped Up Beer Review. Today we are drinking Nebuchadnezzar from Omnipollo out of Sundbyberg, Sweden. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional, somewhat biased opinion about the beer that we are drinking and reviewing. Appreciate you checking out this video. I've got Jay, I've got Andy in the attic. I am Ben. What are we drinking today, gentlemen?
Nebuchadnezzar? Y'all didn't want to say it?
I asked the question, so.
Yeah.
Leave it up to you, Andy.
It is an Imperial IPA from Omnipollo, which is a brewery that brews beer.
Wow. Do we know of a brewery that doesn't brew beer?
But this is brewed on behalf of them, right?
We'll get to that.
Ooh, there's some chunkage in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Got some nice foamy here.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. Yeah, I've got some of your flocculents in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for it to settle. As I said, this is an Imperial IPA, 8.5%, 100 IBUs. They say it is a homebrew recipe that has been scaled up with no consideration to economies of scale. So evidently the cost to make this doesn't create a very good profit. They call it Neb for short. And that's all they had to say about it. So we've heard of Nebuchadnezzar before we came on the show. Ben had mentioned in a pop culture reference that that was the name of the ship in the Matrix. So I will jump to that. Yes, in pop culture, it was the name of Morpheus's hovercraft in the Matrix franchise. It was technically the Nebuchadnezzar doesn't exist yet because it's not built till 2069 in the books in the series. Now, where do we get the name Nebuchadnezzar from? It's the Wayback Time Machine. Most notably is Nebuchadnezzar II is what we think of when we hear that name. He was the king of Babylon, and he ruled for 43 years, most prominent king of his dynasty. He's also called Nebuchadnezzar the Great. He ruled from 605 to 562 BC. He was known for many things, constructing the Hanging Towers of Babylon. He was seen mostly as a builder for construction, but he also destroyed the kingdom of Judah and Jerusalem, the capital of Judah at the time, in his conquering phase of his ruling. We also know he was also known for his dreams, and he was brought up in two books of the Bible, the book of Jeremiah and the book of Daniel. And he used Daniel to interpret his visions. Now, you may have heard of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Abednego. I just remember it mostly from Beastie Boys songs, but he was called upon he called upon them to interpret, and didn't like what he was hearing. So he threw him in the furnace, and, evidently God spared them. And so then Nebuchadnezzar started to say, oh, wait, I like your God. He does cool things like keep you from burning alive. So that's our little Bible lesson for our beer show today. Other pop culture references. Kanye West in 2019 made an opera titled Nebuchadnezzar. And he likened himself to Nebuchadnezzar, partly because both of them, and Nebuchadnezzar was seen, historians think that Nebuchadnezzar was bipolar. Kanye West has been diagnosed as bipolar, and due to conquering and finding salvation. That's our Kanye West.
All right. Interesting correlation there.
Two parts of the spectrum here. The Bible and Kanye West with the Matrix in the middle.
Yeah, that's when you start a lame beer show, that's not on your bingo card. So, all right.
So let's get to the brewery. Omnipollo is a microbrewery, originally founded in Sundbyberg, Sweden, which is near Stockholm, in 2010. But and it was founded by both. He's a brewer and a graphic artist. So he started as a nomadic brewery, and he targeted the international market early on, and did not. So founded in 2010, but didn't build his own site until 2019 in an old church in Sundbyberg. In the United States, it is brewed here. You'll find this to be familiar. It's on the can. 12% Beer Project out of North Haven, Connecticut. And it's a collective. We've also had Fat Orange Cat Brew Company is also part of the 12% Beer Project. They're out of East Hampton, Connecticut. And that was the Someone in My Head. And yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Cool. Who grabbed this one?
When Jay and I were there, was it me?
Yeah, you grabbed it when we were at Hop City together.
Gotcha. All right. So does that mean you've had one, or is this your first?
It's my first.
Wow. All right. Do you have another one? Do you have a backup? Just buy a 3-pack.
I believe I do.
Okay. Just curious. All right, Jay, what do you think?
I'm sorry. Did you call on me?
I did. What do you think of this beer, Jay?
Shocking.
I think it's really good. It's interesting to me is how these collectives work, and the way the brewery does that, farms out the recipe, and especially they'd have to for an IPA, I would think, as the timelines. But it has a very mouthful to this one. It's got a little bit of that piney resin to me, hoppy. I don't get it at 100 IBUs, but maybe that's cut down by some of the haze and the juiciness. But it's got that lingering coating of the mouth. So for that, I think I'm just going to go with an 8. I'm not going to go higher than that, but it's really good. I'm enjoying it.
All right, I'll jump in there and go since Andy provided this one. I agree with what you said there. The thing I was going to mention was the 100 IBUs. It doesn't seem anywhere close to that, and it has bitterness to it, but it's more like for me, it's more like a orange peel or some sort of citrus peel on the back end. Definitely get that coating though, where you have a sip and then 10, 15 seconds later, you just feel like there's fur growing on your tongue or something a little bit there. To me, this one, I'd say it's okay. It's nothing special. It's nothing that I would seek out, right? Especially me not being the IPA guy. It's not one that I necessarily would have to have again. But it's, hazy, juicy. It's not, I'm not saying that to say it's a bad beer. Just being that it's not my favorite style, it's one that I would pass on again. if I saw it in the store. So with that, I'm going to give it a 7. I think that's where it kind of plays out for me. What say you, Andy?
So, well, when you look at it, it looks definitely like a hazy on the palate. The thickness feels like a hazy, but when you taste it, and Jay referenced this, the little piney resinous taste, it makes me think like a hazy West Coast almost, because you get that type of essence. And I agree with the citrus peel bitterness and not so much hop bitterness. So got a little bit of a sweetness to it, but it feels heavy. It tastes heavy. This is a slow drinker. This is not something you do on a hot day. This is something to be had indoors and take your time on, because it's thick. And I think I agree with you, Ben. I mean, I like it. I'd drink it again if given to me. I don't think I'm going to go purchase it again. I think it's a little overboard. Although, if knowing what I'm going to get out of it, because right now we're doing this, I just had a big meal. I'm so full, and it's not as satisfying. I think if I've got one more, I'm going to drink it again. It's going to be when I first get home after work, nothing on my stomach, and it'll help kind of bring me down and mellow me. So in that essence, I think it's a good thing, but don't drink this on a full stomach. You may not enjoy it as much. So that said, still good quality to it. I think they did a great job. They crafted it very well. 7.5 for me.
That is going to be a 7.5 for the Nebuchadnezzar Imperial IPA from Omnipollo out of Sweden. Definitely one, if you've had, let us know what you think. As always, you can leave a comment down below. You can check us out on all social media links down below in the description. You can come say hey in our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. It's a chat room where the 3 of us are there, plus the others who have joined us. Before we go, though, be sure to like, subscribe, cheers to that notification bell. It is free to do, and we would definitely appreciate that. If you have any interesting Hopped Up Beer Review merch, which Jay is grabbing there, like his shirt or a koozie, you can definitely check out the link below. And lastly, if you have any interest in any of the glassware that we sometimes use on this show, that is non-Hopped Up Beer Review labeled, or some of the equipment we use for the show, there's links down below that you can check all that out as well. With that, for Andy in the attic and Jay, I am Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.